Hey you guys, I hope you've had an absolutely beautiful day, and I hope that your night is even more beautiful than you could even imagine. Tonight I just wanted to jump on and share a little bit of my heart with you and just lift you up, I guess you could say. I pretty often get messages asking me how I am positive all of the time. Now, let's get something straight, okay? First of all, I am not positive all of the time. I'm just positive the majority of the time. You see, there is a big difference between being positive some of the time and being positive most of the time, and being positive the majority of the time, and then being positive all the time. Like, who could possibly do that? I guess it's possible, but I do stick with my assumption of I am positive the majority of the time. Let me tell you why it's very different, okay? So, just like you, I have situations that come into my life. It's not like I'm walking around through this life and absolutely nothing goes wrong. Listen, this is not a let me one-up your story. But this is a declaration of real and serious struggle. Do you hear me? Just 5 months ago, I held my granddaughter in my hand, the child that I could do nothing to change her medical situation. For the first time in my life, I was completely helpless, truly helpless, and I watched her take her last breath. You tell me that's not kind of hard to go through? There have been some huge shifts in my life, and I haven't always got it right, but no one's keeping score. No one's saying, Jennifer, you're 37 years old. You should have this, this, and this, and figure it out. And you should be married, and you should have a house in the woods, and everything should be fine and hunky-dory. No one is keeping that record. And if they are none of my business. What is important is that I'm moving forward. I'm not getting caught and drugged down by this thing called life that keeps nagging and tearing. No, in every moment, and this is just something that I'm just now really figuring out and starting to apply in my life, things are not always easy. Yesterday, day before yesterday, I got a call. Got the difficult news. Difficult and exhausting news, and my heart was devastated. I mean devastated. I got the message standing in the gym, and I walked out of the gym and got in my car and was overwhelmed with grief. I was taken back to a time whenever pain was so violent in my life. In a moment's notice, I was pulled into the past. My fear that I felt back then was immediately reenacted inside of me. And then I began to freak out as my thoughts went to, what does this mean 6 months from now? What does this mean a year from now? What is this going to look like? And is it going to look like that? What is this? How do I handle this? God, where are you? That's my time that doesn't quite fit into the majority of the time. I break. It's okay to break. Come on, get real. It's okay to break. I was hurting. But I had to decide in that moment if I was going to continue, like Marianne Williamson says. She says, you are to glance at the cross, the death, the thing that's tearing down life. Glance at it, but do not dwell there. Because the situation, in all actuality, time is what? A little bit of matter, a little bit of space. What is this? Listen, the truth is that the situation is already resolved. And as I glance at the crucifixion, this harsh, horrible situation that's presented itself in my life, I can choose to sit there and stare at the tragedy and the pain and the heartache and the death and the death. And that's what it will invoke in my life. And I will become tired. And I will find myself sleeping less or sleeping more. I'll find myself feeling sluggish and worn down because I'm holding myself to the past. Listen, in that moment I choose to see the resurrection, which is that it is possible for me to see through this situation and to be able to stand strong and solid and mighty. And just by my very presence in this world, the solution will come more naturally. It's pretty crazy thinking. And you might be listening to this saying, what is she? She's lost her mind. Listen to me. You weren't created to walk around with the dog kind of life. Sit, stay, roll over, bark. Arf, arf. You weren't created for that. You were created for the God kind of life, and the God kind of life raises dead people. And then they're no longer dead. No, the God kind of life does not speak to your cancer. No, he speaks right to the cancer itself, and it is gone. Do you hear me? The God kind of life is already caught up in your miracle while you're stuck in your mess. The situation is not going to drag me down, nor is it going to drag my family down, because I am strong and mighty. And here comes that majority of the time. I am strong and mighty. And guess what? The God in me is bigger than the God of this world. And when I say world, let me make sure you understand what I mean by that. The God of this world is that somehow we can do it all by ourselves, that we don't need anybody else, and we certainly don't need God. Listen to me. The core of who you are is God. And so when you continually run from the truth about who you are, that's where the separation comes from. That's why you believe there's no God. That's why you run from your own thoughts. And it's okay. You know what? You can run and run and run and run and run, 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 and it's okay. Because he'll never stop pursuing you. Okay? Listen to me. When I say the God of this world, I mean that thing that says in that situation, I can't handle this. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. I can't. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. All this attention toward this chaotic situation versus looking straight at the resolution and saying, I call you out. I call you out. And in complete peace and utter grace and mercy, you will rise up, situation. You will rise up, because I do not live for you. I live for him. And we got this. So, Mr. Situation, you can go ahead and sit down. Okay? Sit down, because I claim in the name of Jesus everything that is pure and holy that is already accomplished in this situation, and you, sir, have no say in that. That's how I get to the majority of the time, is I just talk right to the situation. Some call it prayer, some call it meditation. I call it, yo, we got this. Word. Love you guys so much. Hope that sharing my heart, all over the place it was. Guess what? This is me. And this is me being real with you. When you find yourself in situations, are you stuck staring at the cross, the crucifixion, the death, the harm, the tearing, the aching, the heartache? Or are you resting in the very core of who you are, which has got the God kind of thoughts that already know what it's going to take to get through this situation, and is actually on the other side of it. You matter. I love you. I know, I'm weird. Word.